Hello and welcome to God Winging It. Yesterday I saw a movie. It was called Nürnberg or Nuremberg, as you would say in America and Britain. It was about the Nuremberg trials where the Allies after the war in 1946, around 1946, between 1945 and 1949 actually, but around 1946, they tried among others, Hermann Goering and a lot of other high ranking Nazi leaders from the Third Reich who had survived the war. Hermann Goering actually committed suicide in prison before he was to be hanged, as he was convicted, of course, as he should have been. But he escaped the hangman. Anyway, the thing is, they ended this film, this movie, with a statement. Let me see here. The only clue to what man can do is what man has done. And it's a quote by the British philosopher and historian R.G. Collingwood. And why did they state this proverb? Or I think that, of course, they must have meant that what happened in Germany could have happened almost anywhere else, including America, including Sweden, including Great Britain or UK, including France, including a lot of countries, very many countries. It's happening today right before our eyes. For instance, in Sudan and in Gaza, the Israelis have become Nazis themselves. They actually do similar things like the Nazis did to them some 80 years ago. And we can't swear ourselves off with the notion that we are blessed by God as a nation, and therefore we cannot do anything wrong. That's just bullshit, pure bullshit, including for America, especially for America today. We can see the Nazis, the fascists in America rising, and they have their leader on the top. I don't think that, I mean, the Germans, they know. They know that this could have happened anywhere in the world. What happened in Germany in the 1930s and 1940s. They know that. And now I know it. I used to think, and long after I become a leftist, I used to think that it's the Germans. The Germans, they're bad people or whatever. That's just bullshit. Today, they're actually better than we are in Sweden, and very much better than they are in America. They're standing up against the AfD, Allianz für Deutschland, better than we are standing up because we have Ulf Kristersson, unfortunately, and he's not standing up to anyone. But they are trying in Germany to stand up because they know what will happen if they don't. They can't afford to make the same mistake twice, and we can't either. So and they can't in America, but they have. I think that there's a fascist state in America, we're a little bit farther from a fascist state in Sweden, but not very far from it. The liberals and the Christ Democrats, what a joke. Anyway, they they claim that they're not gonna. I think it was the liberals and the Christ Democrats. They claim that they're not gonna let in the Sweden Democrats into giving them after the next election, giving them a ministerial post or two or three. They claim that they're going to work against that. It doesn't serve them. I think they do. At least the liberals do. I'm not sure about the Christ Democrats. Kristdemokraterna. They got Ebba Busch. She's a little bitch. Anyway, uh, I think that we need to be cautious. We need to be wary, aware. We need to be woke. Uh, to the fascists in Sweden and in Germany and in France and in UK and in America and elsewhere, I can just plead to them to come to their senses because they know what they are doing is wrong. I know what I'm talking about. Remember, I was used to be a sort of a fascist, at least a right wing nut. I mean, Ronald Reagan said once. He said, "We don't carry freedom in our genes or in our blood." I think he said, "We must fight for it for every generation." Okay, don't they revere Ronald Reagan in America? Then why don't they fight for their freedom? And they're not fighting for their freedom now. They're fighting for fascism. Anyway, I'm not going to be long on this. I guess I can just say that we need to do God's will. I believe in God. I'm not a born again Christian, but I believe in God. I've always believed in God. At least since 1990, in May 1990, actually, for to be exact. And we need to humble ourselves, not to hate, not to be aggressors towards anyone, but we need to love each other. It sounds corny, I know, but it's the truth. God is love, not hate. Until later, see you and take care. Take care of each other.